I buy all my AK mags as gunsmith specials, and with little work, they function perfectly. After fixing 43 of them, I've learned quite a few tips and tricks, and I'm excited to share those with you. Military surplus AK mags are awesome. They're incredibly robust, and from what I've seen, the reason these mags don't work is 9 times out of 10 improper communist storage. When I bought these from Apex Gun Parts, they were $9 a piece, which is like getting comm block mags half off. Now I know you can buy new made mags out of Korea for 10 bucks, but the quality just isn't there. The metal is thinner and the spot welds are almost non-existent, and I wouldn't bet my life on them. So let's begin. I put the magazines you'll come across into 3 different categories. The dented ones, which stop the follower from moving. Magazines where the inner dimensions are just a little too tight of a fit. And lastly, mags where the followers are stuck because of rust. Whether you're buying these as fixer-upper magazines or it's a mag that you've busted up, the first thing you're going to need to do is to disassemble them, which is easier on some than others because on some you literally need to beat out the stuck follower. The next piece of advice I have for you is once you've disassembled your mags and cleaned them, keep all the parts together. Don't get them all mixed up. Sometimes the only way to tell what's wrong with a magazine is to examine the follower. And you can't do that if they're all mixed up. Also, keeping all the parts together aids in identifying the country of origin and time period your magazine is from. You might have a rare East German or Russian magazine. There's lots of AK magazine collectors out there, and there's something really cool about them. That's another reason why I love buying these Comblac mags. It's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. The tight-fitting mags are my favorite to fix because it's often as simple as flexing out the body. I force the magazine over a piece of steel I cut to the correct width of a functioning magazine, then simply work it back and forth until the follower has the space it needs to slide smoothly. Easy peasy. A lot of the dents can be mitigated using this method as well, as you can see here. This mag has 2 dents in it, and with just a few passes, the follower can now move freely. Stick around to the end of the video because I'll be taking this magazine and a few others to the gun range to prove that they function, and consider hitting the like button. Now for the deeper dents, I drill a tiny hole on the opposite side and then use a hammer and punch to simply knock the dent out. Your AK already has a hole in it, and 1, 2, 3 more isn't going to hurt anything. In just a few minutes, you got a working magazine that's now doubled in value. Now here's another magazine with a dent that's located on the neck down portion. I can't get to it with the tool that I made to try and stretch it out, and since I believe this is an actual Russian Molot magazine and thus collectible, I want to avoid drilling a hole into it to pop the dent out. Looking down the body, I can see where the follower is impeded by the dent, so I'm just going to grind off a tiny bit of the follower. This will allow it to get by but won't hurt with the feeding of the ammunition. Now for the hardest type of magazine to fix. This is 2 different pieces of metal that's been spot welded together. Now for whatever reason, sometimes rust begins to form in between these 2 layers and it causes the magazine to bulge on the inside. Here you can see it on one side and not the other. And in this particular magazine, there's been rust that came through and even started to rust the follower. The only thing to do here is to Dremel it out. Once you remove the rust pocket completely, your magazine will look like it has a gaping cyst. But don't worry, it doesn't affect function. As long as the follower moves freely and the feed lips are good, then it'll function reliably. After I clean up the other cosmetic rust spots, I put a piece of painter's tape on the floor plate to remind myself that after I test function, I do need to come back and paint over the bare metal so it doesn't rust again. Surplus AK magazines have been consistently going up in value every year. I think it's smart to stock up now while you can, and buying beat up mags like this to fix up is the cheapest way to do just that. And for AR magazines, Apex Gun Parts currently has a deal. 10 surplus mags for 60 bucks. I bought a pack and I'm testing those out right now, and I'll get a video out to you as soon as I can. So keep on the lookout for that video and consider liking and subscribing. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.